Hey Vincent, yeah, so I'm just taking a look at your set, and I'll just give you some feedback. So, first impressions. One thing I really like about the set you sent in is the fact that you kept the images all consistent in black and white. Oftentimes, I find a lot of photographers when they send a set for critique, the photos are all different colors, different types of post processing. Here, you've kept it very consistent, which is great. So I'll look through the photos. That was just my initial impression. So let me go through the photos individually. So let me just kind of flip through them and then I'll give you some feedback. So looking first at your photos, Vincent, one thing I think you do really well is capturing kind of this story and this sense of emotion. I see you take a lot of photos of kids. Like you have kids here, kids in this shot, um, social commentary here, kid here, and this last shot I feel like it doesn't really fit in. Compositionally it's quite interesting having all these leading lines. Connecting here it kind of makes it kind of reminds me of Cartier-Bresson shot of it was in India of a woman holding her child and the wheels of the um, was it the lines of the wheel mirrored the lines of the cage. What this reminded me in, I really like this eye through here. One thing I find a little bit distracting is while all your other shots, the aspect ratio is consistent. Here it looks like you cropped it more of a square, which visually just doesn't feel as consistent. So and while the rest of the shots kind of have tell some more of a story, this is kind of more of a visual one. So I feel like in terms of set, you should probably just ditch this shot. The shot itself, I think it's a good shot. Once again, with the hand, the eye through here, these interesting balloons. I would still prefer it if you kept it more of kept it in a traditional the regular aspect ratio. When I look through your shots, so I think your strongest shots are this one, this one, this one. This one's not so strong. The reason why I think these three are strong, so I'll just kind of walk you through it. This is a great shot, is that you have this girl, really it has a lot of depth. This girl closest to you in the frame, love her little hand gesture here. The fact that she has this interesting speckled background that's kind of surrounds her. Looks like she's about to, either move her hair or she's just pushed her hair, which kind of adds nice narrative. And, what makes this photo really great is having this little extra action of this girl looks like she's brushing her hair with the white comb against the black hair works really well. Like all these nice little textures, these little shapes here, the splot here, the text here, this here, the ladder here, and there's all this really nice movement happening on. The only thing I find maybe a bit distracting is the fact that her feet are chopped off here. Either what I like to see you do is get all the feet in the shot, or even get closer, so you could have just chopped it off more at the bottom of her skirt. Otherwise it just kind of seems a little awkward with her feet in the air there. This is also a very nice shot as well. I just love this man smoking the cigarette, looking at you, holding his, it looks like maybe a daughter. I don't know if it's daughter or son, looks like a daughter. Very gently. I like the framing, and also this little frame and these lines you got here. Still, I'm not 100% sure if, well, I guess it kind of works. Having this line here, it's pretty, it has a pretty good balance. I'm just wondering like if it was a bit tighter. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, you could have probably got a little bit closer, because at the end of the day, this is kind of a bit dead. I still think it works, and I love how it's just nice and simple, and the fact he's looking at you and the daughter's sipping. It might have been also interesting as well as if you got it. I don't know if you did, but if you got a candid shot of him smoking the cigarette, looking off to the distance to make it a little bit more candid, or even smoking in the direction same as the girl drinking her milk, then it would make the photo even more interesting. But I think it's otherwise a clean shot, nice simple background, no distracting elements, good. In terms of just kind of social commentary, this is probably your strongest shot. Of course, you have this one woman, looks like she might be homeless, picking up some stuff, the trash here. Then the background, you have this metropolis of Shanghai in the background, and just kind of the way that she's aimed diagonally here, it kind of mimics this crane up here. And if you know, I don't know if she noticed you while taking the photo, but she's not looking at you. You could feel kind of the heaviness, the weight, how cold it must be, seeing all the clothes she's wearing. I mean, minor nitpicks, wish you didn't chop off her foot there, is not a big concern. And also a little bit too much shadow in the foreground here. I mean, either you could even dodge in Lightroom, or if you're taking the photo, use a flash to fill in these shadows here a bit. But just, you know, in terms of the composition, the frame, the tightness, the story, I think this is probably your strong shot, and I just faved it right there. This shot, I mean, it's several things which I don't think work for the shot. First of all, the light is not so great. You can see blown highlights in the background. A bit of this hand chopped off here. A little bit too much for her face in the shadow, which is a bit hard to see. And you know, other than that, you know, it's a nice moment. The girl sipping the water, looking at you in the camera. The mom looking down, holding it, and you know, the framing is pretty good, nice and tight. But I think it's kind of like a photo. We've kind of seen a lot of these photos, you know, nice and cute, but in terms of the rawness of street photography, the edginess of it, like my buddy Charlie likes to say, isn't there. So I would say ultimately, you know, these shots are great. This one here is pretty good, and this one here. So I would say try to take more of these kind of shots. Stick away from just kind of cute shots like this, as well as more visual shots. I feel like they're not quite as strong. Yeah, but I think you have definitely a good vision, and I'm excited to see your progress.